But y'all give it up, I want you to get as loud as you can for Jessica Andrews.
Have you ever talked about your addiction?
I have not publicly at all. But until recently, I mean, I have absolutely no shame and no guilt about it anymore. I did for a while.
What was your favorite drug, substance, alcohol? What did you like doing?
Well, it's interesting. It started out with a prescription, and it just kind of, I just ended up liking different feelings from prescriptions, you know.
Right.
And I got to a point where I was realizing that I was thinking about it way too much, taking way too many pills for different things all the time. And I mean, I 100% knew I was going to be, I mean, I was already sliding down a rabbit hole.
Right.
And it's like I was smart enough to know like where it was going to lead, you know. And but I did not realize, you know, how very, very hard and how gripping addiction is, and that it just does not discriminate at all. You know, you don't ever plan or expect to be in a situation like that. But you know, I was very much comfortable with telling. I mean, it definitely took a few years, but I remember it was over the holidays a couple years ago, and I just told my parents, I'm like, listen, I would like to not take all these pills anymore, and I'd like to get treatment for it. And everyone was so supportive. They were wonderful. And that was basically, the story. And I went to treatment for a wonderful place. And I successfully, spent a month there and just realized, I met so many different kinds of people from all walks
All
of
over,
life.
everything.
It just opened up a whole, it didn't have the stigma that it did before,
Addiction doesn't take pictures. It doesn't care if you have money, if you're famous, or if you're just a regular guy, or, a regular wife, or a regular girl. It doesn't play.
Oh, no, it does not.
Yeah. And we fool ourselves. You get up, you take some Adderall to get going, and then you come home at night, you gotta take Xanax to go to sleep, and you think it's normal.
It becomes such a little cycle, a vicious cycle. Right. And you just, if you do it for so long, as you know, it just, you cross over that invisible line of where
the normalcy.
It's hard to stop. You just become dependent on it.
So Jessica, we have a society, and you're in the entertainment business, you see it. In the entertainment business, alcohol and drugs they're there. Okay, they're everywhere. Probably in every field.
Oh yeah.
But I, get a lot of people that are older off drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. What would be your advice to me to help with this addiction problem we have?
Okay. That's a great question. So I personally don't know and haven't done enough research yet on how you would go about attacking that problem. But I do think that if we could start some kind of, education program with, preteens and get them started on seeing the reality.
Not just about sexually transmitted diseases.
And not just about driver's ed, but
not just about driver's ed.
Addiction and alcohol and drugs.
But about addiction, alcohol, drugs, and how it relates to regular life. And then you don't have to have it to enjoy yourself.
And it is a choice in the beginning to take your first drug and all of that. But, if you're doing it consistently, you lose that control and that choice after a while.
Very quickly. Anyway, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
And
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great, and hopefully we can do more in the near future.
Absolutely.
And go have a kick-ass show.
Thank you.
And have fun.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Nice meeting you.